Welcome, folks, to the Mike McFeely Show. It is a Friday afternoon, and the other voice you heard, as I said, is Moorhead Police Chief David Ebinger. And if you recall my conversation a couple of days ago with Tom Tepley of Discontent, we were talking about the issue that faces the Moorhead City Council, and that's whether or not that the city should ban certain kinds of pipes that are being sold in 4 or 5 businesses, I think, in the city of Moorhead. Tom Tepley, a very vocal opponent of that proposal, was in, and we were talking, the chief's name came up on several different occasions, and I said at that time, I said, you know what we need to do is ask the chief to come in and talk about this from his perspective. We gave the chief a call and said, absolutely, I'd love to come over and talk about this. So that's why he's here, and welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks, it's good to be here. I hope I can shed a little light on this.
To the show. Okay. Let's get down to brass tacks. Folks like Tom Tepley, and to be straightforward with you, I side with that side of the aisle on this issue. To me, if you're talking about getting rid of a certain kind of pipe, you're going to really put a crimp in those businesses, and I'm not sure that that's really going to be the root of the problem in terms of drugs and everything else. But why do you want to do this? Why are you pursuing this?
Well, I'm probably not going to be as interesting a guest as Mr. Tepley, because not to marginalize this, but we are. This is not the biggest blip on the radar in the Moorhead Police Department. But it is a blip. It is an issue that's come up. It's an issue that is statewide. We have seen recurring problems. Probably when I began to notice it was back in 2007, 2008. We had a substance called salvia, which was being sold. It's a hallucinogenic. It had not been legislated against. And with the help of Maury Lanning and some of the other legislators, we got legislation against it, but it was being sold legally here in Moorhead at various stores, including Mr. Tepley's store. It was turning up in schools and at other events with a lot of young people involved.
Is that the synthetic marijuana? Is that issue?
No,
this is totally different now.
This was the first iteration of what we saw.
Okay.
This is and my wife grows a different type of salvia in the garden. A lot of people do. This was a type of salvia that they grow in Mexico. When it's ground up and dried and smoked, it's a hallucinogenic with results that are very much like LSD. We got legislation on that. It kind of disappeared. We were real pleased with how quick the local merchants got it off their shelves until we realized they found a new substance, the synthetic cannabinoids. Fake pot is what some people call it. And they began to sell that. This was around 2009. By 2011, we had legislation against it, which came into effect July 1st of this year. Now, Mr. Tepley and another business owner from Duluth and another one from a different part of the state are currently contesting that legislation. They want it repealed. They don't want it enacted. They tried to get an injunction on it. And he's indicated that this has led to him losing 60% of his business. His inability to sell synthetic cannabinoids, and to his credit, he's never sold the synthetic stimulants, the bath salts, the plant food, some of those substances that are really very, I think, have a much more toxic effect on people. But he did sell the synthetic cannabinoids, which have created a number of problems.
Okay.
He lost, by his own filing with Hennepin County Court, 60% of his business when these substances became illegal. By his estimation, about $1 million of profit a year. This has created some tension. We were aware of these. We went to all 5 businesses that had sold these substances when the law came into effect. All of them showed to be in compliance when we checked with them. Gave them a letter, gave them a copy of the law. 5 days later, officers went into the businesses and were able to purchase synthetic cannabinoids in 2 of them, which were subsequently charged. One of the reasons that we're involved in this, and again, I said it's not the biggest blip on our radar, but it is a blip, and it's not something we went and hunted up. We have parents calling us. We have our own officers on the street that are encountering these substances and this material, the paraphernalia. We have officers in the schools that are dealing with it. Drug paraphernalia and these substances are being found not just in the high school but in the middle school too. We've had athletic events where kids have overdosed on it and have passed out, and we've we have to take some sort of action to try and address the issues as they come up. We had a number of people that live in the areas of these businesses who complain about drug seekers, drug users, in a very highly disproportionate number coming into their neighborhoods and interfering with the quality of life. I want you to just put this in context of what it is from an enforcement point of view. We have 5 businesses in the entire Fargo-Moorhead area, population of about 180,000 people. We have 5 businesses within, well, 4 of them are within 3 blocks of each other.
Yep, right off Main Avenue,
Yeah.
Moorhead. Yep.
And the 5th one is a mile down the road. We have, and those are the only businesses that sell these items. And they're located in Moorhead within a very confined area. Now, if you're going to buy drug paraphernalia or if you're going to buy this substance, which by all research indicates it's addictive, the synthetic cannabinoids, where are you going to come? We have a population of 180,000 where the drug-seeking and drug-using element of that population are coming to one very confined, restricted area. And that does present a problem, and it presents complaints and concerns to citizens and enforcement action by my people. One of the responsible things you've got to do when you run into an issue that is a problem within your purview when you're a government employee is you need to recommend and help construct legislation or response for the electeds to consider and look at. I understand that there's some concern that we have, by the police department and the county attorney's office, have stepped forward with recommended legislation in this in the form of this ordinance. That's our job. Since coming to Moorhead, I've recommended ordinances on weapons, on U-turns, on flood control devices. We're working on ordinances for snowmobiles, for peddlers, for burglar alarms. That's what we do. It's not unusual to have a police chief and or a county attorney or prosecutor put together, or a city attorney, put together the ordinance for the city officials to consider.
No, and I'm with you there. That's part of your job. That's part of anybody's job in industry or business might recommend an ordinance or work with the city council, work with staff, try to make laws that might help make the city better. We need to take a pause here, Chief. I have some questions for you. Specifically, I want to ask you about, if I'm being naive, I don't necessarily disagree with banning of the products, the bath salts, the different products. But we're talking now specifically right now about certain kinds of pipes, vehicles in which people can use these products. And I want you to differentiate and maybe just inform me of why selling a pipe would somehow lower drug use. And you're the law enforcement officer, I'll let you speak to it, but that's the questions I have for you.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that next on the Mike McFeely Show. 237-5948-800-880-5346, or send me an email at studio@kfgo.com. Just getting started on a Friday afternoon here on the mighty 790 KFGO.